We're going to start our next lesson in math. It's on perimeter and area, but we're going to talk about decomposing things. So first you're going to need your math packet number 1, a pencil, a ruler, and an eraser. And then we'll be going to page 321. If you need to pause the video right now, go do that and go get your supplies. All right. Before we even start with the packet, we need to talk about how we can decompose or split apart numbers. 10 can be split apart to be 1 and 9, or 9 and 1. It can be 2 and 8, or 8 and 2. It can be 3 and 7, or 7 and 3, or 5 plus 5. If we wanted to decompose or split apart the number 9, we could make it 1 and 8, 2 and 7, 3 and 6, and 4 and 5. Or we could flip all those numbers around, just like we did with the tens numbers. All right, so in order to do that, we're going to look at these rectangles and we're going to try some decomposing of them. They want us to show 2 ways to find the area of a rectangle that is 10 units long. So we're going to first do this rectangle and then we'll write an equation for it. Then we'll do this rectangle and write an equation for it. So first things first, I'm going to draw a line here. I decided to color mine in gray just to give you guys an idea of which rectangle within the rectangle I'm speaking of. So, this is going to be 6 units wide. This one here is going to be decomposed as a 3 and a 7. I could have picked 1 and 9 or 2 and 8. It's up to you how you want to do it. I split it up this way. It just said to show 2 ways. Now I can write an equation for it. We take the 6 times the 3 gives us the gray rectangle within the rectangle, and the 6 times 7, because this line is the same length as this one, is going to give us the white rectangle. We do the math. The rectangles are represented by the parentheses that these numbers are within, and then we'll add them together. So 6 plus 3 is 18, and 6 times 3 is 18, and 6 times 7 is 42. When we add 18 and 42, we get 60 units squared. Units is used because of the word up there. A different way to decompose 10 is going to be shown here. I'm going to draw another line a little further over, and I know that this is my width, and here I'm decomposing 10 as an 8 and a 2 this time. I'm going to make this gray one into a parentheses here, 6 times 8, and 6 times 2 represents this white rectangle. I'm going to add those two totals together. 6 times 8 is 48, plus 6 times 2 is 12. 48 plus 12 would give us 60 units squared. Okay, now they're wanting to know if I had 6 and 10 feet for a rectangle, what would the area be? Well, 6 times 10 is 60, but now I'm going to use feet instead of units, because this label has changed. Now, feet is very different than, for example, meters. Okay, meter stick, there we go. Here's the foot, and if I go down, 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 whoa, it's so long. That's my meter stick. It's very long, way longer. It's more than 3 times longer than this. So there's a big difference between a measurement being feet or meters, as is inches or centimeters compared to a foot. So it matters by looking at what length they're talking of. So if we had 10 meters times 6 meters, we'd get 60 meters squared for the area of a rectangle. Okay, let's look at this one here. We're going to make a drawing that shows 2 ways to write the equation for 9 yards long, 5 yards wide. So I drew a line here. I have my 5 there. I'm going to not put my arrow there anymore because it just makes it unhappy. And we're going to split this up as a 3 and a 6, because 3 plus 6 is 9 to represent the 9 yards long. My equation would be 5 times 3 for the first rectangle within that. And then my second one is 5 times 6. Those are each represented in parentheses. And then I add them together. I get 15 plus 30 will give us 45 yards squared. So that is my final answer. I'm going to draw onto the purple another rectangle, and I'm going to split this one up as 4 and 5. So you can see this is a second way to do it. Your second way can be different if you need more room. They didn't give us a ton of room to do 2 of them, but if you need more room, grab a Post-it, plop it on it, do it in your notebook. Either way is fine. This is for us to show how to do this. So we did the 4 times 5 for the first one. We did the 5 times 5 for the second one. And then multiplied 4 times 5, multiplied 5 times 5. 20 plus 25 was 45 yards. And 45 yards squared is your final answer because they said it was yards over here. All right, that's not too bad. Let's try it on our own or try it together. You try this one, and then I'll try it with you. So I'd like you to pause the video and you try it for number 6. What would the equation be with our parentheses plus another parentheses, and then find the final answer. Pause now. All right, let's see what I got if it's the same as what you got. I got 4 times 3 to represent this right here, and 4 times 5 to represent this one. And then I added them together. So I got 12 plus 20 would give us 32 units squared. Here, I would like you to try this one. Pause the video so you could try it on your own. All right, let's see if you got it right. So this first rectangle is 5 times 2, and we're adding it to the 5 times 4. So I should get 10 plus 20 equals 30 units squared. So on your own for homework, you're going to be doing numbers 8 and 9. But before you do that, let's look at how to do 10 and 11. And then you'll be taking a picture of this sheet and uploading it to a Google Doc like you did with yesterday's homework. So I'm going to draw a rectangle, and it needs to be represented 3 times 3 plus 3 times 5. So I drew a line here. I have 3 here because that's my first number in both. I have 3 here because that was this first second number. And I have 5 here because I had that as a second number here. And we know that 5 and 3 equals 8 to be the total there. So that's all you're drawing. This one, I'm drawing another rectangle. I need to have 4 here because I have a 4 that is the same on both of the rectangles that I'll be drawing. I draw a line in there because this side needs to be a little bigger than that side. So I have 4 here. I put 5 here to go with, so this is this first rectangle. And then we have, sorry about that, we have the second rectangle is going to be a 3. And that's all you need to do with that one. So your homework is going to be 8 and 9 on this page, and 12 and 13. Just make sure you get those concepts before we move forward tomorrow with the rest of 6-6. So go to a Google Doc. You're going to open it after you finish those problems. Then you're going to name it with your name and page 322 math. Share it with me. Make sure you upload your pictures of your finished work to the Google Doc. So when I open it, I can see your pictures. So good job. Have fun with this, and we'll talk again tomorrow.